The Washington draw dropped Saturday night, and within an hour, tennis social media was repeating the same headline. Alex Ila could face defending champion Leylah Fernandez. That is true, but it is not the most dangerous part of her draw. Before Ila can even think about Fernandez, she has to get through Olympic gold medalist Zheng Qinwen in the very first round. Not in a semifinal. Not later in the week. Round 1. And that matchup could decide whether the most talked about collision in Washington ever happens at all. Here is what makes this week so important. Alex enters the North American hardcourt swing with only 70 ranking points to defend across Washington, Toronto, Cincinnati, and the U.S. Open. Tennis rankings work like carrying a backpack filled with last year's points. A player has to earn those points again just to remain in the same position. Fernandez enters Washington carrying 500 points because she won the title last season. Ila's backpack is nearly empty. Last summer, Alex lost her opening match in Toronto. Then a left shoulder injury limited her schedule. She played only 2 tour-level tournaments during the swing, reached the second round of the U.S. Open, earned 70 points, and then disappeared from competition. That means every match she wins this summer adds to her ranking almost immediately. The Mubadala City DC Open is a WTA 500 event at the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center. Running from July 27th through August 2nd, the champion earns $252,000. But the bigger prize is momentum. Washington leads into Toronto, Toronto leads into Cincinnati, and Cincinnati leads straight toward the U.S. Open. The field is stacked. Jessica Pegula is the top seed, with Alina Svitolina, Naomi Osaka, and Diana Schneider also receiving first-round byes. Anna Kalinskaya, Madison Keys, Leylah Fernandez, and Emma Navarro complete the 8-seeded players. Alex is sitting at a career-high ranking around number 28, yet she is unseeded because Washington protects only 8 players. That matters. A seed gives you shelter from certain dangerous opponents early in the tournament. Ila has no protection, so the draw can place almost anyone across from her. And it did. Her first-round opponent is Zheng Qinwen, the Olympic gold medalist. Zheng entered with a wild card, which sounds harmless until you understand how wild cards work. They are placed into the draw without seeding protection. Usually, that means a local favorite or a promising teenager. In this case, it means a former world number 5 and Paris gold medalist floating freely through the bracket. Zheng has been rebuilding after injuries pushed her ranking down. She arrives with no seed to defend and far less outside pressure than usual. Emotionally, she and Ila are entering Washington in similar positions. Hungry, dangerous, and eager to prove something. 2 players with nothing to lose meeting on day 1 is not an ordinary opener. It is a collision. And they have history. In the 2023 Asian Games semifinal, Ila was only 18 and ranked number 190. Zheng was ranked number 23 and heavily favored. Zheng dominated the opening set 6-1, then led 5-2 in the second. Alex was 1 game away from elimination with the Philippines watching in the middle of the night. Then she refused to leave. Ila saved multiple match points, fought back to 5-5, forced a tiebreak, and won it 7-5. In the deciding set, she broke serve and moved ahead 3-1. For a brief moment, the Philippines was close to its first Asian Games tennis gold medal since 1962. But the physical cost of that comeback eventually caught up with her. Zheng recovered, won the third set 6-3, reached the final and captured gold. Ila finished with bronze. That match happened when Alex was a teenager ranked 167 places below Zheng. This version of Ila is 21, ranked inside the world's top 30, and coming off the strongest stretch of her career. She serves bigger, attacks earlier, and handles pressure better. But Monday will also be their first meeting at WTA Tour level, and the pressure has changed. In 2023, Ila had nothing to lose. In Washington, she may actually be the higher-ranked player with an entire nation expecting another breakthrough. If Alex survives Zheng, the next likely opponent is Fernandez, but even that is not guaranteed. Leylah first has to defeat Magda Linette, and if the matchup happens, it is bigger than the usual Philippines versus Canada framing. Fernandez represents Canada, reached the 2021 U.S. Open final at 18, and became the first Canadian woman to win Washington last year. But her mother is Filipino-Canadian. Fernandez has always spoken proudly about her Filipino family, food, and the fans who support her across North America. So this would not simply be a Filipina underdog challenging a Canadian champion. It would be two daughters of Filipino heritage meeting on an American court, carrying different flags but connected to the same community. There is another important detail. They have already played this year. Fernandez defeated Ila on clay in Stuttgart in April. So Washington would not be a first meeting. It would be a rematch, and Alex would be the player trying to settle the score. To reach the quarterfinals, Ila may have to defeat an Olympic champion and then the defending tournament champion in consecutive rounds. She has not played a competitive hardcourt match since March. There is no easy opener, no comfortable round to adjust to the bounce or find her timing. But Fernandez is also under enormous pressure. She is defending all 500 points from last year's title. When those points were temporarily removed from the live rankings earlier this month, she reportedly dropped from number 25 to number 34. For Fernandez, this tournament is not only about defending a trophy. It is about protecting her ranking. That creates a fascinating contrast. Ila has almost nothing to defend. Fernandez has nearly everything to defend. One player is climbing with an empty backpack. The other is trying to keep a full backpack from spilling open. Recent form gives Alex a real reason to believe. In Berlin, she defeated Queens club champion Donna Vekic 7-5, 6-4. Then beat world number 2 Elena Rybakina by the same score. She followed that by defeating Elena Svitolina 6-3, 6-4 to reach the semifinals. Then came Wimbledon. Ila entered as the number 29 seed, becoming the first player from the Philippines ever seeded at a Grand Slam. She beat Renata Zarazua, Maya Joint, and then stunned the defending champion in straight sets to become the first Filipino singles player to reach the fourth round of a major. That is not one lucky afternoon. It is evidence that she can defeat elite opponents in consecutive matches. The exact challenge